We were in France, and we were, I'm trying to think of the name of the town, didn't make any difference. And wanted to see a part of this particular large town had a district that was real rough. And you weren't supposed to go down there. And if you did, they'd arrest you. They'd put you in jail. It's off limits. And so, of course, maybe 3 or 4 of us. And so, of course, we want to go in there and see this area. You would too. It's a bad area. So we slipped into this place, and it was dark and dingy and dirty, and walking down this dimly lit street. And these 3, 4 story buildings on both sides. It's just an old place, run down. And down the street there's some people in a doorway. So we just struck up a conversation. And around the corner, down about 2 blocks, came this MP truck. Big MP on the side, and they were looking for bad GIs that were in this restricted area. Well, jeepers, that's no place to get caught. So we, everybody piles through this door that they were standing in front of, and somebody says, upstairs. So we upstairs, up, first floor, second floor, third floor, at that door. Door locked. They're beating on the door, and I could hear the MPs at the bottom of the stairs starting to come up. And the door clicked, and this little old lady, she poked her head around the corner of the door. She said, yes. Boy, I hit that door and knocked her over, and we all piled into the room, and I slammed the door shut. And just as I shut it and locked it, the MPs hit the door. It was that close. And they said, open up. And, no, I don't think so. I said, this is French property. You better not be breaking anything down, you know. It's all right. We'll go get the gendarmes, get the French police. They can open it. So we're up on 3 stories, trapped. And so, of course, the thing to do is look for a place to hide. And one of my friends, he got into a closet that was a mobile closet that had casters on it with a bottom, and when he got in there, the bottom dropped out, and you could see his feet. And the other one, boy by the name of Potts. He was a real timid guy. He had big glasses on. Old Potts, and he got behind this thing, because in the corner there's space back there to hide, but the trouble was a little bit tight, and the bottles were rattling. He was nervous. So I didn't know what to do. I'm not going to get caught, because it was pretty close to going back to the States. So I looked, there's a window. Opened the window, looked down, a long way down. Yeah, that's not good. And I looked off to the side. There's a drain pipe off to my left. Big drain pipe. And but it was too far to really grab a hold of. So I got out on the ledge, and I got a hold of the window with my left hand, and I reached over with my right hand as far as I could reach to this drain pipe. It's dark, I couldn't see the whole thing. And I could just touch it with my fingertips. Well, the only way you can grab it is let go with your left hand and fall to it, all right? So I'm not going to jail. So I braced up and I let go and I fell and I grabbed this drain pipe. Conk. I said, boy, that was good. Yeah. And so I started down the drain pipe. I got about between the second and third floor, and the drain pipe just disappears into the wall. So now I'm stuck. I can't go up. I can't go down. I'm hanging on there. I know there's steel picket fences down there around the openings at the bottom of this alleyway. It's an alleyway. What do you do? Well, I'm going to be losing my strength there pretty soon hanging on, so I better do something controlled. So I figured if I push out and rotate just a little bit, I can land just about right. So I got it all figured out. I wanted to push out far enough into the alley I wouldn't hit some of these steel posts sticking up. So I pushed off and I rotated. And it was pretty good too, because I was just about right when I hit. And I saw something go up between my eyeballs, and it was my knees. It was a good blow around. It was. And then I kind of bounced up in the air. I left the ground again. I bounced and fell forward, which was good. And I kind of laid there trying to check myself out, see if there's anything broken. No, pretty good. This works, that works, it all works. So I go tearing up the alley, turn the corner of the alley, and here the police are down there at the end of this where it turned. So I stopped, and I real sneakily back into the alley again. And across the alley, there's this little slot between the buildings on the other side of the alley, and it was just enough that you could squeeze into it. It wasn't any room, hardly. So I got my little body into that crack in the between these buildings and started up there. And I was making it. I was doing pretty good. I probably got up there about 50 feet. And hard, slow progress. And I heard some splat behind me. And somebody said, Lloyd, come up here. And I hear again, Lloyd! So he's not coming up to me. He'd done the same thing I had done, but he must have been hurt. So I went back and yeah, he was hurt. So pulled him into this crack and we sidled up to this building. I said, where's Potts? He's still up there rattling bottles. Well, that's good, because if they catch him, he's going to tell them everything he knows. So we get up to between these buildings. I'll tell you, that was a chore because it was tight. And we finally made it into the clear, made it down to the bus station. Nobody down there looking for anybody. And just before the bus came, looked up the street, and here comes Potts. He's running. Potts made it out. And He came up there and I said, "How'd you get out?" And he showed me his hands, and I don't think he had much skin left on his hands at all. He said they found a rope and they put it over to the side, and he said, "Now I'm going to go down this rope and don't you let it slip." And all of a sudden I was over the edge and they let it slip. And he said, I went screaming down this rope with my hands. It just killed himself. Yeah. So anyway, we made it back. Potts was all beat up on his hands. This other guy, he'd crushed his heel, and he got discharged from the service because of it. And nobody found out about what we had done, so that was good.